This is Sean. I wanted to touch base with everybody and tell them about the program that I just went through. Um, it was the orientation, so it was kind of exciting to get into that forum and see all the people. It was surprising because you go to school every day and you see hundreds and hundreds of people. Except when I was looking around the room to kind of like find out who I knew, I was surprised. I knew like 5 people, maybe a handful. Um, and I get it. I mean, there's people from other schools that got in there, of course, but you just figured you knew people, and I didn't know so many people. Anyway, to get into what we did at orientation, it was what you would expect: a lot of stuff, a lot of paper handed out. Not so much paperwork. I mean, a couple of things you had to fill out, but nothing like nothing crazy. Some of the things they hit on, basically, I can go through the itinerary real quick if I have it in front of me. I forget everything that we hit, but it was a lot of stuff. They went through a bunch of things that you would expect them to hit. Here it is here. We started out with just doing the registration, putting your name on there, just saying that you went. You got a little name tag, so that people didn't have to stare at you and ask you, pretend like they knew who you were, which was helpful because I couldn't remember some of the kids. Even the few that I knew, I couldn't remember their names because I only saw them in passing. And one of them I had in my class, and I used to know his name. I didn't when I saw him. But anyway, the director came up, gave us some greetings, said, congratulations, all that stuff, and kind of went through the stats that the average student in there was. Their GPA, the average GPA there was a 3.4. The average TEAS test was low 70s. The there was well over 300 qualified students. There's 100 students on the waiting list, and so she congratulated us on getting in there, and thank God, because they went through the health requirements, hepatitis B, all the shots that you need to make sure that you're clean and safe. And she made it a point to recognize that it's not the school that's asking for this, it's the clinical sites. And without those things, you can't go into their clinicals. So it's really important to understand that they don't really have a whole lot of control over that, and they don't set the standards for it. The hospitals do. So you either meet them or you don't meet them. And if you don't meet the requirements and you don't get your, hepatitis B and your, all your PPDs and all that stuff done, you can't go into clinicals, and it's not their decision, it's the hospital. So there's no way around it. And a lot of people have a lot of questions about, timing and what counts, what doesn't count. So that was a good, almost a half hour, people just asking kind of the same questions over and over again. So you wonder if they're actually paying attention to the answers that they're giving. But then we went into our nursing 101, what to expect. Basically, we got a lot of books. You've seen them. They're like stacked like, yay high, and there's all over the place. But really, we were really focusing on just one book. The book itself, and then the handbook. And I don't have it with me right now, but you can imagine, you've seen all the other videos. It's a big, thick book, and then there's a little workbook with that. And we already have our first assignment. We got to read over certain things before the first class, have all the paperwork together, make sure that you read the handbook and all that stuff just for first class. So you have to sign a piece of paper saying that you read it and you understand all the rules, which is also understandable. So we went through all of that. What else did we go to? Background check. We have this program that they're using. It's called Background Check. You have to send all your information through them. So the information never even goes to the school. It goes to this program on web space somewhere that takes care of it for them. So the lady said, don't even bother sending anything to the school because it's just going to sit in a box and it's not going to go where it needs to go. So with that said, you have to scan it in and then send it to these people, and then they approve it, and then they send, once you get everything together, they send, saying to the school or to the nurses, whoever the faculty is that takes care of it, that your stuff is in. If not, they give them a list of things that you need to be done. And if you don't have that done, then you can't go to clinicals, you can't go into school, depending on what you needed. So it was interesting there. A lot of people had some questions about that, and she did walk us through some of the stuff, but most of my stuff is already done, so I wasn't worried about it too much. Uh, let's see, what else? During break, we were able to buy stethoscopes. They had like a raffle, stuff like that. So I would, I had like $1 with me, so I put the $1 into the raffle just in by chance. They were giving out free stethoscopes with the raffle tickets, books, um, things, money off for your nursing suit, your scrubs and all, and shoes. They gave away a pair of shoes, like whatever. So some people were really excited about that. So I can imagine if you don't have that kind of money, that was huge. Um, let's see. Then they went over the dosage math calculations. They scared you, and then they kind of brought you back, which I thought was interesting. Um, they were like, you have to pass it 90%. There's only 10 questions, so you have to get every single one right. Exception of one, you can only get one wrong. So everybody's like, and then she's like, well, if you miss it the first one, then you go into remediation. We literally sit with you and work with you until you get it right, and then you get to take the test again. If you fail that test, you get to take it again, and if you fail the third time, then you're out. But I mean, it seems to me, if you can't get it, then you don't. I guess you don't deserve to be a RN. Nothing really ridiculous either, and I'm not a math person, so that scares the heck out of me. But I seem to be. I think I'll be okay. They went over the handbook. This big, thick. I don't want to say thick, but it's a handbook, and it goes through all of the, rules, regulations, blah 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 blah. So I have to read this and then sign a piece of paper saying that I already read it. But to be honest with you, I read last year's, and it's almost identical to that one. So I'm already ahead on that game. Let's see, what else did they go? Then they tried to sell you on the National Students Nursing Association to become a member there. Conflicting things there. I never asked the question because I really, I can wait on this, but they were saying that we were already considered into this, but then when you go to the site, you have to pay to be a member. So I'm not sure if, I don't know. I'm not sure I have to sign up because she said we were already considered. I don't know. Anyway, moving along. Then, they told us who our advisors are, but they also said don't worry during the summer, don't bother, because no one's going to be answering anyway. They're all going on vacation, and much needed vacation. So she's going to send something out when they're all back, and then assign us to each one individually who's going to be working with which advisor. So although they introduced us to the advisors, I actually don't know which one mine is. Then the graduating students. There was 2 graduating students that came up and talked about their experiences at the school. One already has a job at NICU. She was super excited about that. One of them nearly cried just talking about the whole experience. So holy crap. Anyway, and then the other one was a gentleman, talking about his experience there. His background and how he had to fight through the whole thing, but it changes your life and all that stuff, which I don't mean to sound cold-hearted, but I mean, I expect it to change my life, so it didn't really hit me like he was being emotional and all that stuff, because I'm already prepared for that, at least personally. I'm looking forward to it. Then they gave out a scholarship award to one person, and then they did the drawing, and then they just said, if you want to stick around, we have, all of the professors are going to stick around and answer questions and all that stuff. And I did have a question because I have one class to take. It's an English 102 class. I've already signed up for it in the fall. They're recommending I don't take it. Not now. Because I really don't need that class until my senior year. They're saying just take it during the summer next, and get out of it. Because the first semester is going to be so intense and so different that you're going to need all your energy to really focus on it and, to do well in it. So I'm going to take them for their word, and I'm going to ixnay the English 102 class until next summer. What else? that was pretty much it. I mean, I did talk to a couple of the guys that I had, you know, incidentally, I counted 4, 8, 10, about 12 males in a room of 100. So there's your 12% right there. I was, reading article on article after what the percentage was males to females in the nursing profession. And I think they said it's up to like 10 or 11%. So there you have it. It just went up another 1%. So we're gaining ground, okay? So that is it for now. I don't want this to make this huge, long, drawn-out thing, but it was a good experience. At least I got some, guidance on what to do, because I just wanted to dive into the books and start learning and all that stuff. So now I have an assignment. I can get that going. The dosage thing, I already have the book, so I'm going to dive into that. And I'm looking forward to everything else. So I guess the next time I talk to you, maybe somewhere just before when I start. I'll probably be getting a little anxious at that point. I'll probably do another video. And that's it for now. So good luck to all of you guys who got accepted this year. If you haven't gotten accepted, keep rocking. And hopefully you can get in next year or the year after or whenever you plan on applying for it. Good luck to you, and out.